Welcome back to This is Gravel here on Gravel Guru. Neil, what are we doing today?
Matt, we are giving away free lights.
We're giving away lights thanks to Light in Motion. We're answering your question on Q&A. That and more. Hey, welcome back to this episode of Gravel Guru. Once again in the studio with Neil, Minister of Gravel. How you doing, Neil?
Doing good, Matt. Doing good. Had a wonderful 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, fantastic time. Mild temperatures here in Kansas for this last week.
Not bad. We've been able to ride, but the humidity, on the other hand...
Yeah, the humidity is near 100% right now.
Through the roof.
We rode over into the last week and this week, and it was sweaty.
Yes, it was very swampy. I don't enjoy the humidity.
No?
But I still would rather have this than the winter weather.
I would rather have the humidity than the 5 inches of rain we've had the week previous.
That too.
We needed the rain.
No,
we did need the
absolutely.
rain.
We needed the rain. It was good to get it, but it's been nice to get back and ride the bike just a little bit.
It also didn't rain your camp week, so that's
correct.
That's a plus.
Yes,
so.
It was only 110 degrees.
Yeah, it's good for them.
Yeah, not for me though.
No. Fair enough. Well, we are here today. We are pretty much just doing an old school Gravel Guru episode, a Q&A episode.
Q&A. It's been a long time since we've done a Q&A.
It has been.
I can't remember the last one.
I don't remember the last Q&A episode. Into the show, though. We are giving out another light for people signed up for 12 Night Under the Stars. Head over to gravelguru.com/under the stars. Get signed up. We have over 150 people registered so far.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, you have to... Well, up to this point, unfortunately, come July here, you're going to have to do something different. But up to this point, all you've had to do is register to be able to have a chance to win one of these lights. Pretty simple.
Pretty simple way to get a new light for your helmet and to try out something different.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, I guess we jump into the Q&A.
All right.
You ready for me to read the first one?
Yeah.
First question up. Strong headwind going downhill or strong tailwind going uphill? What is your take on that, Neil?
Always tailwind. Always tailwind. I don't care what it is, where I'm going. There's nothing more defeating, more miserable than pedaling down a hill that you usually could coast down.
The key there? Pedaling downhill.
Yes. I have pedaled down hills before going under 10 miles an hour into a headwind, and it's so defeating. Give me any day. Give me tailwind. Doesn't matter. Tailwind uphill all day long. That's fine. Going downhill, having to pedal into the wind, having to pedal into a downhill, I'll pass.
100% agree. Headwinds suck. I don't know if that's just because we're from Kansas and it's funny when you see in other parts of the country and they put out a high wind warning. It's going to get up to 40 mile an hour winds today. Welcome to spring in Kansas.
I was going to say, there was a stretch there where we had 20 of those in 40 days, basically, down here.
Well, yeah, go back to some of our first episodes of the season where we got into that one up on the way to Council Grove.
Yeah, so, again, any day, give me the tailwind.
Okay. Only because I ride with you am I asking this. The wind's 15 mile an hour out of the south.
Yeah.
Which way do you ride first?
I personally, and I'd personally like riding with the tailwind at my back at the beginning. Simply because it's to wake my legs up. I am not one of the people that can get on the bike and just go. I have to get my old body moving and the joints moving and everything functioning. And I know I'm not that old, but it's got to get going first. It's got to get set in motion. Once it happens, then I can turn around and ride into the headwind and usually not have an issue. I mean, we actually did that here recently where we had a little bit of a tail or a headwind really out and then turned around had the tailwind on the way out and then rode back in the wind. It wasn't too bad, I would say. So I prefer that.
I 100% disagree with you.
Oh, I know you do. No,
I want the wind at my back on the way out.
No, other way around.
Correct. Other way around. I want the wind in my face on the way out because when I turn around and I'm gassed halfway into that ride, I want it to push me all the way home.
You know why you're gassed halfway into that ride, Matt? It's because you rode into a headwind to start off the ride.
I hear something in here, but I'm just not comprehending it.
It's the gospel.
Second question. Do you carry any first aid supplies on the bike with you?
It depends what I'm doing. If I'm just going out for a ride with you, I usually don't. Now I used to. I used to carry a lot because I do have a nice little scar here on my elbow, forearm, from a fall, and thankfully somebody did have something that we could kind of wrap it up. It was really it was like 4 miles out of town. It wasn't that far out. But I don't usually, unless I'm going bike packing. If I'm going out for multi-day, I have a whole lot more stuff with me. Now, saying that, I probably should because, things can happen out there. And it would be nice to have something. But I also, too, if something like this happened again, I would probably take off my sock and wrap it.
Yeah.
I think to get myself back in.
For me, I think I don't carry a strict first aid kit.
Yeah.
I'll say that much. I don't have any Band-Aids on the bike or anything like that. But do I have maybe some like individual wet wipes like you can get with like a meal or any of those things? I have 1 or 2 of those up in the front top tank bag, and that can be first aid, or that can be I just had to put my chain back on and I'm trying to wipe some of the freaking grease off my hands.
Yeah.
I will say probably the biggest thing I do carry is I have a couple of like the individual packs of like 1 or 2 of the Pepto pills or 1 or 2 like ibuprofen in there.
Yeah.
Just something like that. I think I had 1 or 2 Benadryl in case you got stung by something riding. Just some little things like that take up absolutely no weight or space, but I think that's about it. And always more chamois butter.
I was going to say, actually, that reminds me, 2 years ago on 4th of July, I was actually riding and got stung by a bee. It had my zipper zipped down, it flew into my jersey and popped me right here, and it would have been nice to have at least something to relieve that pain.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know if a pain or a Benadryl or what would have been best for it, but man, it was awful for about probably the next 10 miles, almost the whole way home, because it was just west of Americus where it happened, and so it was about 14 miles home from that spot. And it would be probably nice to have had something, and it's maybe something I need to reevaluate.
Yeah, I think that's probably a better question of if you carry stuff on the bike, drop it in the comments. Let us know what you do carry for first aid. Yeah. And I will put kind of the asterisk there that when we do go bike packing, I do have a fair amount more.
So the little like travel to goes of like ibuprofen, what I do is I take that out. I'll keep a couple ibuprofen in it. I'll put some Benadryl. I'll put other things in it for when we go bike packing. And then I have a little just sack that's maybe no bigger than this, and I put inside of there Band-Aids and a couple other different things, and just I have that usually bike packing.
Yeah.
I've also when we attempted a multi-day bike packing adventure, I think I even brought one of the emergency blankets with me just in case.
Did you get cold that night?
No, I did not get cold that night.
Did you use it as a sail to get home?
I wish. Instead, I think I got picked up to go home.
Yeah, no, different thing with bike packing there. Kind of a bike packing related question. Actually, very much a bike packing related question for question number 3 here. Do you ever filter water on a bike packing trip? If so, what filter do you use?
I don't know, Matt. Why don't we ask you that question first? Since,
do you ever filter?
I have never filtered water yet because, knock on wood, even on the most miserable of days so far, I still had fluids. Now, would I have liked to have had more fluids that day? Absolutely. It's the day that we don't speak of anymore. But I don't know, Matt. Would you have liked to have had your?
I'm about to speak on behalf of that day.
Why don't you do that?
So I have 2 different water filters, and the reason Neil is calling me out, and I'm talking directly to you on this one, is the day I needed it the most, I had neither with me. I will say, if you go back and watch our Colorado video up in the mountains with Ben Wells, me and him going over Coronado Pass and Rollins Pass up there, we used a Sawyer mini water filtration system. It is literally, and I should have brought it in with me, but it is like a 2-inch tube that has a spigot on each end. They're $19 online. Super, super cost effective. When we were up there, we rode about 25 miles up the mountain that first day, filtered water. They're out of a lake at like 10,000 feet. Probably really didn't need to filter. I mean, It's nothing like Kansas, but we also didn't want to have to use that Pepto the next day.
Correct.
That was on the bike. So we filtered water there, and really we filtered a lot of water that we cooked with that night because it got chilly up there in the mountains. So we filtered the water, and even though we boiled it, I mean, we were better safe than sorry. Nice thing about the Sawyer, and I'll throw up a little photo of it right now here on screen. The nice thing about them is you can actually screw a 1 liter Aquafina bottle in like you get from any gas station or anything like that. So you have a solid bottle, but with that, it also gives you another liter of water to carry like in a backpack while you're riding. And just pushing forward. So it gives you a little more storage space, or you can haul it empty and there's almost no weight penalty for that, just a space penalty.
And I'll say that's part of the reason why I haven't also used it yet is on any of my bike packing trips that I've gone on, I haven't really gone to a point where I'm going to need it, where I'm going to be too far between a gas station or something. Now, again, the one day that we're talking about that we definitely both could have maybe used a little bit extra water, we had a 63-ish mile leg on a trip to start off an event. Now, just to be clear, so that we understand, we both had, 2 32-ounce bottles on the bike, another...
2 32-ounce bottles. I had another 24.
I had another 24.
And then I had 64 in the back.
Yeah, the orange mud pack was 2 liters. And so... I wouldn't have thought at any point on that, oh, man, I can't make it 64 miles with that. But when you're riding into a 40-plus mile-an-hour headwind in 95-degree heat, the fluids go, and they go quick. And we were not the only people that day that ran out of fluids by the time we got to mile 64.
Yeah, the worst part of that day, to be clear, was, the moment I'm standing...
Why are we reliving this?
the moment I'm standing in this creek, and I'm going, Neil, I need to fill up with water here. Like, I was bone dry at this point, and Neil is sick at the fact of me drinking this water.
Oh, it's green.
It was the clearest stream we found all day.
Only stream.
Yeah. But anyways, the worst part about it is I get up the road, and I'm so dehydrated. I call for a ride like 2 miles before we get to the checkpoint. I don't know. You'd left me at that point, which was the smart move. But I'm like 2 miles out of Cassidy, and I call for a ride. And I get in the car, we're headed home, and I'm starting to get rehydrated with some Pedialyte and stuff like that. And my wife goes, "Do you not pack the Life Straw I got you for Christmas?" No, I didn't. So I also have a Life Straw. I'd recommend one of those for anybody too. It's not my favorite because you kind of put the dirty water in the bottles to drink through it just like a straw. They're $20 as well. I would personally go with the Sawyer mini filter. But again, it's convenient. You should probably have one of them on you either. Honestly, if we went up to Reading where there's no running water again, I'd still throw it in the bag just to have it there.
It's something I'll eventually look into. I mean, my bike packing trips are going to get more, I'm going to stretch out my legs a little bit further and go further away. And definitely there's going to be a point in time where I will carry one with me.
To me, it falls in the same line of the first question, though. Is it a first aid supply almost, too, though?
Yeah.
Like it would have been on Cannonball Day.
Yeah.
So it's one of those ones, and if that provides you a little bit of stretch where if you're on a route, you're just looking for water, maybe you don't have to swerve in and try to find a town that's 5 or 10 miles out of the way. So it provides a lot of flexibility. I'd highly recommend having one. That said, I'm not the best user of them.
Do what I say, not what I do.
Exactly. Okay, I think this question came from Gravel Sasquatch, I believe.
I don't know. I have to hear it.
Yeah, my question for you guys is, what is your choice of stoves for cooking? Alcohol canister fueled? Excuse me. So alcohol, I'm assuming like the penny stoves.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of people make those. There's a lot of tutorials out online. I think they use like a cat food container or a tuna type can for those. So alcohol canister fueled, like a butane, a little propane one, or natural wood fire, or do you guys just carry enough Casey's Pizza to get you through?
I would like to say I carry enough Casey's Pizza to get me through, but sometimes Casey's lets us down.
Fact of the matter is there's just not enough Casey's out there yet.
No, definitely not.
So
there's towns we go to that don't have enough Casey's Pizza, but if I could fuel all ride on Casey's Pizza,
I would.
That would be option number one. Having said that, we both have similar kind of setups, I think. So here's my wonderful kind of copycat. Anyways, here's my wonderful titanium mug that I have. I love it. It's great. Part of the reason I love it is because inside of it, when I am going on the trip, I can pack in just about everything. So I've got the little jet boil propane tank here, which is great. And then I can put all my coffee and the lighter in there as well. It all fits in. It fits in nice so that I can just basically carry that with me and save a little bit of space. And then I just got the MSR pocket rocket. I mean, it literally, actually, I carried it here in my pocket today. It's that small. Yeah. So, I mean, it lives up to what its name is. But, I mean, it folds out. It's fantastic. I mean, and the thing is I can make, if I want to make anything on that, I can heat up water really fast, usually for coffee. But this thing is, I mean, again, when you fold it down and you bend it all in, it is tiny. It just really doesn't weigh a whole lot. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I mean, I keep it in the package here to just protect it. But, I mean, even that, again, is really not that much of a, as far as I'm concerned, a space eater. And so I take that with me. That's the stove I use. And again, usually I'm just a coffee person. I'm still trying to warm up to some of those.
I'm looking that up online right now, and I think I like to be transparent on the prices of some of these because it's easy to see some bike packing stuff for hyperlight stuff and go, man, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Right now, the MSR Pocket Rocket stove is $44 online, and you can get knockoff ones that have just as good a ratings for anywhere near $25 online.
And I think it was somewhere, I don't think it's really had a big jump up in price like some of the other things have.
$13.99 to get one.
But I mean, it does its job, and yes, you don't have to get
the MSR brand.
You know, I got the MSR brand because it's what the bike shop had at the time. It worked, as far as I'm concerned. It's worked quite well. I didn't want to go to that big, huge, the big jet boil. You know, I'm not there yet. It's not to say that maybe sometime in the future that's not going to be something that I would consider if I'm doing a different style of adventure in my bike packing. But at this point, this really takes care of
Talk a little bit about your fuel canister.
Let me take her back out really quick. So, I mean, it's just a relatively small one. It says it's going to give me about 24 boils. It's just a small little jet powered, 3.53 ounce, 100 gram net weight. I mean, it's pretty small. It's not going to last super long. I would say probably I've used about half of the boils maybe in it so far. But
did you know you could... Do you know how you tell how much fuel's in these?
You have taught me this, actually. I found this out.
Where you fill like a sink full of water and you can set them upside down and there's lines on the side of it.
Yeah, so mine just basically shows me where, on the side where it would be at if it was at.
Yeah.
So, just submerge it, and if it's got that much, it's 75%, 50%, 25%. Yeah. I'm going to just say based upon how much I've used it, I'm probably about halfway through it. I did throw it in the water not too long ago, and it was floating about halfway.
Yep. I also right now have the 3.5 ounce canister with me. I have the same stove, actually a previous model of it. Packs up super nice. One thing I will say is with this 3.5 ounce one, they're pretty small. I don't know how many boils you can get out of them. I think I took this one up in the mountains of Colorado just to save weight and space because it was one night up there. But with that said, I usually carry an 8-ounce one with us, like when we're running around here, because I have the space on these short overnight rides, and it provides more than enough that I'm going to need if I want to cook supper, like one of the backpackers' pantry meals or something like that, and then have plenty of coffee or make coffee for other people in the mornings to share. Probably the most cost difference between our kits, Neil, is simply the mug I use. Neil's got an awesome titanium fancy one. I went with like the $1.99 Academy Sports enamel mug. I have 2 of these. I will say it takes kind of a beating to it at times, but at $1.99 I can replace it in a year or 2.
I got this simply because I had the money at the time, and I just was like, sure, why not?
I got no problems with them. I mean, it's definitely like one of those bike packer.
Yeah, I just thought, what? I actually, this is the only titanium bike
piece you have.
I own. But I was like, what? I like it. I think I'm going to go ahead and just
I do like yours that has like the strainer on the top and stuff too.
Yeah.
It provides a lot of multi-function into the kit.
Yes.
I will say, if we want to talk about, we make a lot of instant coffee on bikepacking. The only thing I will say I've upgraded this week. I have not actually used it yet, but when I was out in Colorado, I picked it up at a shop. But I got the AeroPress Go, so we can try making a little fancier coffee out there.
Yeah.
Super lightweight, but looking forward to that because we've talked about this. We talked about this on a ride this week even, is bikepacking or not, we're ready to get out and see some sunrises. We've done it once or twice, ride out, make a cup of coffee, enjoy a cup of coffee, ride home.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that, and, we all like to play with new toys.
Absolutely. I definitely see a sunset or a sunrise.
I'm not doing a cup of coffee at sunset.
Yeah,
I mean, I would. I'd
would
regret
too.
it.
Yeah. But definitely do a sunrise coffee ride here pretty soon. We've done, like you say, a handful of them in the past. Not maybe necessarily sunrise, but early morning. But to get out there and to start kind of in the dark, I'm up for it.
Okay. Final question.
Uh-oh.
You ready for this one? This is kind of a pop culture of cycling question.
Oh, okay.
If you made a sign that took out the peloton on day one of the Tour de France, what would it say?
Boy, there's a lot of areas I could go with that right now, Matt.
There are.
And a lot of them could be quite. Oh goodness, that's a tough thing to say.
If you were going to be on national TV, international TV, I guess it would be,
TV,
and take out the peloton,
I'd be made into a meme that people would see all across.
would you go something funny, or would you go like a marketing like?
Hashtag this is gravel.
I'm just saying.
I would think it would be something better than what was that like?
I have no
Go
clue.
Grandma and Grandpa or Hello Grandma. I mean, it was something to that effect. Grandma and Grandpa that the sign had said. I would think that I would probably try to go funny. And there's a lot of things that are going through my head right now that are funny that probably would maybe make somebody upset about people ruining gravel or things of that nature. Or keep gravel grassroots maybe or something to that effect. But then it would be odd for me to be at an event that is road.
They might say that's like negligent too. Like, were you there because you think gravel is better?
Yeah, I don't know. Things like that would be what's going through my mind.
So it would be gravel related.
No party, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, that's throwing back a couple years.
There's a whole lot of fun things like that. Again, I would think I would try to have more fun with it though than being serious or promoting something.
Oh yeah, mine would not be serious at all. I think I'm like hashtag Lachlan gets it.
Ooh, yes.
Or hashtag I'm with Lachlan. I mean, if you haven't seen what he's doing, he is bike packing the entire Tour de France route, including the transfer spots where they're just bussed or flown.
Yeah.
Like 5,500 K and trying to beat the leaders to Paris. It's fun to watch on his Instagram. I'm just a big fan of him, I guess.
Yeah.
If you want me to be honest, because I remember when they came to Emporia, Kansas, and it was this big hoopla of, oh my gosh, these tour pros are coming to gravel. And there was a lot of conversations on what is grassroots gravel. Do we are we running gravel? And I got to sit in a press conference with him and talk to him that evening when it was done. And literally, they are some of the coolest people I've ever met. They wanted to come here not because they think gravel's the next thing necessarily, but they wanted to come here because they knew gravel's a party and it's a fun thing to do. They weren't trying to turn gravel into tour.
Yeah.
They were trying to figure out how to turn the tour into gravel. Like...
Well, it's part of, I think, what we talk about just trying to find more, and this might sound odd to people, but finding more fun in riding our bikes. Instead of making riding our bikes all about the pain and the training and the pushing myself to a level of hurt when I'm out there on the bike, so yeah, maybe I'll still push my limits, and yeah, maybe I'll still, get myself in the on the pain train a little bit as we're going along, but ultimately to stop and have some fun too. Have some of those enjoyable rides, have the coffee rides, have the other rides where we just get out and we don't worry about the pace, but we worry, about the fun per mile versus the, miles per hour type thing. We're trying to have more fun.
Hashtag party pace.
Exactly. And so I think did they come out here and did they still compete in the race and
still absolutely
to ride well? Absolutely, no doubt. But we've seen, at least I feel like I've seen when people come to this event or come to other events, either they're embracing the culture of what is around that gravel event or they don't come back.
Yeah.
It seems like.
I mean, that's to be clear, there's a lot of tour pros or professionals that have shown up to some of the events we've been at. Maybe they've won them. Maybe they've podiumed. Maybe they haven't even been close to a top 10.
Yeah.
Once they get out there and find the struggles of what gravel can be at times. And I guess I'll piggyback that with, it's always surprised me the amount of them that don't know how to work on their own bikes at all. And I think that's been a kind of a common denominator between some of them that don't return. But yeah, I mean, Taylor Finney, Lachlan, all of those guys from EF showed up a couple of years ago, and they figured out how to have fun with it. And just seeing Lachlan do this, and I'll give a shout out to the YouTube channel, the EF Education Cycling YouTube channel. They go out and make fantastic content.
Yeah.
I'm ultimately jealous of the level of quality of content.
Hobby job, right?
Yeah, hobby job team. So, anyways, that was the final question there. But in all seriousness, with like the Peloton, just stay out of their way.
Yeah,
it's always scared me when we've been out on the road just shooting or covering them. Like, you don't want to be the person that causes someone's event to end.
Yeah.
Like, and broken bones. So, in general, watch out for cyclists. Watch out for each other.
There's enough danger out there ultimately within the Peloton as it is. I mean, there's a lot of bumping and other things that are going on. People still go down. I mean, you see folks struggling sometimes in corners and other places.
Yeah.
They don't need to worry about...
Like, it was sketchy before there were people there.
Yes, they don't need to worry about a moron with a big sign hanging halfway out into the road.
Correct.
Just saying.
Fair enough.
Maybe that's what I would have on my sign. Don't put signs in the road. And then I'd have my sign in the road.
Or not.
It would work.
I'm probably not going to see the Tour de France in person, so...
Not anytime
I would.
soon. Yeah.
It'd be fun to go.
It'd absolutely be fun to go.
I think.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe when they have another real gravel stage.
Correct. So, we have something still to do at the end of the show, don't we, Matt?
We do. We were rambling.
Something that's important. Something that has to happen because it's awesome.
Yes. Are you ready to give away a light?
I'm ready. The question is, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Let's do this. Are you drawing the name this time, or is it on me
I am not
again?
drawing the name. But first off, what do they have to do for this?
Okay, for folks that had to do this one, okay, you had to be registered for our 12 Nights Under the Stars adventure. And all you had to do was go to gravelguru.com/under the stars and enter in your information. No purchase necessary, nothing of that nature. You just had to do that. And if you did that by the end of the month of June, you were entered to win another one of these Light in Motion
Viz Pro helmet lights.
Yes. And so
which we have been rocking
Yeah.
for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, and the thing is, they're easy to take on and off if you do want to take them off. I mean, like I've read sometimes in the daytime, it's a quick unsnap,
You also washed your helmet?
Yes. Washed my helmet, took it off when I washed my helmet because my helmet was pretty gnarly. It's easy to take off. It's easy to put right back on, and we love carrying them with us when we're riding at night, when we're going out bike packing. So it's great. But let's draw a name.
Yeah, as we're getting ready to draw names, I have 150 names cut up on slips of paper in here. Neil's going to draw it. But before we draw it, next month, all you've got to do is a favorite bike adventure. We'll put out a post on social media here later this week. After this episode drops, we'll put it out there. The month of July to be qualified. No longer just being signed up is good enough, but we want to know your favorite bike adventure. Post must include a picture of your favorite bike adventure, as well as a summary of why it was so impactful. So we'll put up a post to gather those, or several posts to gather those, over the month of July. That doesn't have to be from this year. This can be past trips, but looking for that. So, Neil,
we still want them to be registered, of course. It's people that are registered, submitting pictures with all of this information about awesome adventures they've had in the past. Yes, and we'll put out a wide, I'd say, slew of posts to try to collect all of those, because I love seeing it. We've had some folks on our, part of when the people register, they can join a private Facebook page. I've loved seeing some of the adventures some of the folks have been going out on, and it's motivation for me. I mean, part of me sits there and says, man, I'm jealous of you all, but part of me says, you know what, I'm ready then to get out and do my next night of bike packing.
You ready to give one of these away?
Let's do this. All right, I gotta turn my face over here and look this direction. Wow, there's a lot of names.
It's starting to take a long time to cut these slips out.
Yeah, hold on. I think I got one.
Okay, you have one. You've got one.
Let's check and see what we've got here. We have Mitchell Sutton. Mitchell Sutton, you won yourself a free light from Light in Motion.
Mitchell's halfway local here from the KC area, so Congratulations, Mitchell. We'll get it shipped out to you. I'll drop you an email here later today, and we'll start getting these sent out.
Boom, awesome.
How easy was it for him to get a new light?
My guess is it took him less than 2 minutes to get himself a new light.
Less than 2 minutes? That's all it takes. gravelguru.com/under the stars. Any parting thoughts, Neil?
No, just get registered again, folks. We love giving away these free lights, and again, hopefully, there's going to be some other things too that will be coming in the near future that we can also give away as part of this.
Absolutely. Can't say enough great things about our friends at Light Motion. Thanks, Michael, there for helping us get set up. Thanks for being a huge supporter. They posted on their social media for us and really helping us grow our Gravel Guru and bikepacking community.
Yeah.
Take care. Have a good July, and we'll be back.
We will.